Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier. Back in Key Stage 3, probably when you were about 14, I would think you would most likely have been introduced to Peel as the best way to structure your paragraphs. Well, let me tell you, if you go onto the history pages of university websites, you'll get the same advice. It's what I keep saying. The skills you need to use don't change. You just get better, more sophisticated in the way you use them. And I hope you'll be practicing them writing IB history essays. But let's first get that A star, eh? So to Peel. P. Introduce your point. Sometimes this is called the topic sentence, and an essay plan is simply a list of each topic point. And if you write a plan, each point is more likely to lead nicely to the next one. E. Explain its relevance and significance to the question you are answering, and/or the argument you are developing. Why is it important? Always keep asking yourself, so what? So what's important about this point? So what makes it relevant? And your second E, provide evidence or an example, which actually can also be evidence of something, to support your explanation. And L, end your paragraph by again linking your point to the question you are answering and/or the argument you are developing, as well as to other points, maybe to the next paragraph. You might not always do this in the same order. For example, you might want to make a link to the previous paragraph as soon as you've introduced your point. But these 4 elements should be in every paragraph you write. I can't emphasize that enough. So let me give you 2 examples. Here's a B question, actually on a topic that isn't always given enough attention, so I hope it serves a double purpose for you. Why was Hitler involved in the Spanish Civil War? Now the themes to my 2 paragraphs are 1. Strategic advantages and 2. Pragmatic advantages. Note how I don't go directly to the specifics of those advantages, but group them under the umbrella of concepts. My own little link to another presentation. And here is my paragraph on strategic advantages. And don't forget to pause the video, I won't be reading it out. White signifies the point. Yellow, the explanation. Green indicates evidence supplied. And red is my link. It so happens in this example I followed the Peel method in order. That is, point, explanation, evidence and link. And note my closing link not only links back to the question, but links to my next point too. In my second paragraph, I would include the chance it presented to firm up Hitler's alliance with Mussolini, as well as to test his army and air force in Spain, adding that Spain also had key raw materials for his armaments industry. And so to a C question. Blame for the Cold War rests with Stalin rather than with Truman. How far do you agree with this statement? Explain your answer. So it's an answer that will have a couple of paragraphs agreeing with the statement. Yes, let's blame Stalin. And 1 or 2 paragraphs saying, hold on, look at what Truman did. I would definitely have a paragraph on the Soviet Union's takeover of Eastern Europe, and that's what I share with you here. Again, you should pause so that you can then carefully read my paragraph. And again, white signifies the point, yellow the explanation, green indicates evidence supplied, and red is my link. And in this example, you'll see that my peel dips in and out of the explain and provide evidence. But it's natural to do that sometimes. I would then write a paragraph on Stalin's blockade of Berlin, followed by the counter-argument, with a paragraph that includes Truman at Potsdam, particularly atomic diplomacy, and America's role in the Berlin blockade, and a paragraph on the Truman Doctrine and Marshall Aid. And as a bonus for you, and again you'll want to pause, let me give another link to other presentations and add 2 frameworks. One for the origins of the Cold War and one for the Berlin blockade for you. I think I said frameworks, I should mean timelines. Never mind. So, another skills presentation for you that I hope you find useful. Of course, your final mark will depend fundamentally on your knowledge and understanding of the history you have studied, but it will also depend a lot on how you present your thoughts. Think about that. And if you think tutorials might help you, just get your parents to get in touch with me at historymadeeasier@gmail.com to see if we can sort something out. Let me thank you, as I hope I always do, for listening, and wish you the very best of luck with your studies. Cheers.